Hello everyone, this is Pritam Shah and welcome to my YouTube channel Cognitive Coders. So today in this is our fourth video of ADF's tutorial series. Okay, so in this video we'll learn how to use the trigger for activating our pipeline based on the trigger timing or something event. Okay, so that we'll see. Okay, so before that I want to I'm requesting you, if you have not seen my previous video, please watch it first, because the this video is interconnected with the previous video. Okay, so whatever I will start today's topic, that is from the previous one. Okay, previous one where I have ended. Okay, so in the previous video I have already explained how to create dataset, how to create link service, and how to create pipelines, how to trigger how to copy the copy activity, how to use delete activity. That thing we have seen. Okay, so today on the same thing we will use trigger to triggering the pipeline. Okay, so basically we have three kinds of trigger in Azure: scheduled trigger, tumbling window trigger, event based trigger. So scheduled trigger is the normal trigger based on the wall clock timing. You can schedule your trigger if you have a particular time for each and every day, that this time I want to schedule my trigger. So you can select the timing, and every day on this time, on that timing only, trigger will be executed. Okay, and the pipeline will be activated. Okay, so tumbling window trigger. So tumbling window triggers is basically the uh, on the name only we can understand that it's a window specified. Means if you have certain timing window, you need to, suppose we need to trigger one pipeline uh, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. within after 1 hour. Okay, each and every 1 hour we need to trigger one pipeline, because in the source file the data will come, new data will come each and every hour. Okay, so from 6 to 10 p.m., 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day it will come. So based on that we need to select the our window. So 6 to 10 p.m. will be our window, and the recurrence timing will be 1 hour. Okay, so it will be 4 time triggers. So this is the main features of tumbling window. So we can create one window for triggering our pipeline. Okay, and the event based trigger. Event based trigger is basically something event that will trigger the our pipeline. Okay, some kind of event that might be a new file is coming, and the storage is whatever it is, our storage, it is gen 2 or blob storage. Whenever the new file is coming, the trigger will be gets triggered. Okay, so that is the event based trigger. Okay, so we'll see how to do that. Okay, so it's a periodic interval while also retaining the state. Okay, it operates on a periodic interval while also retaining state, and even investigate a trigger that responds to an event only. Okay, so let's see it hands on. Okay, so we'll go to the add trigger, new trigger. So trigger is basically for I want to mention it. Trigger is basically one to one relation, sorry, many to many relationship. Okay, so one trigger can be used by multiple pipelines, or one pipeline can use multiple triggers. Okay, so let's see. So new trigger, I'm giving the trigger name. What will be my trigger name? This is what I am creating, schedule trigger. Okay, this is I'm creating schedule trigger, the first one. Okay, so schedule trigger. I have given my trigger name. Okay, so description anything you can give. So here from the type you can select the schedule trigger. You can select the start date. So start date you can give today's date or something. If you want to give tomorrow's date, anything you can give. So suppose it is today's date, you can select. So my time zone, it is it has already taken. Okay, so if you want to specify one end date, that from today onwards it will start, and 30th it will end, so you can also mention that. So if you want, uh, here also you can give the recurrence. Okay, but this is different from the tumbling window trigger. So recurrence also you can provide here also, but this is different. In schedule trigger, whatever recurrence you will give during the trigger activation, it will only consider the current date and time. It will not take the previous date. Okay, so for the history loading purpose, we can't consider this trigger. Okay, so I am not giving any trigger occurrence. So for that's why only if any window specific trigger recurred, that time we used to use the tumbling window triggers. So we can select okay. Okay, the trigger will gets created. Okay, and one, you can see one, the trigger is added. Okay, for the same pipeline I want to create one tumbling window trigger. Okay, as I'm showing you for the example purpose, so I'm creating all the triggers for a same pipeline. You can also add these triggers for the delete pipeline also. I'll show you. Okay, as I told you, it's a many to many relationship. So yeah, now I'm going to create tumbling window. Tumbling window. Okay, tumbling window triggers. Start date, specify any end date, or if you don't want to specify any end date, you don't need to specify. Every 15 minutes it will trigger our pipeline, or every 1 hour you can give. Every 2 hours the trigger will gets executed. Okay, in advanced option also. So this is the I'm coming to the advanced option later. Okay, so this is the main funda of the tumbling window. So now if you want to add any dependency mm, for the trigger, that every 2 hours it is getting triggered. Okay, so here the main feature is, whenever it will get triggered, the date time will consider this one, so that the previous historical data loading we can have the we can have that feature, that we can load the that load the historical data. Okay, so as it is not considering the current date and time. Okay, whenever it is triggering. So and also we can add dependency. So trigger 1. So if we have selected one tumbling window trigger, or any event based trigger, that once it is successfully gets executed, after that only the this trigger will gets triggered. That thing we can add here. So I have only one trigger created, so that's why I'm getting one trigger in this list. Okay, so if I want to make a dependency on the trigger one. Okay, so it's basically, if you tumbling window triggers is basically if you have one trigger within your window. So if that trigger first suppose I have from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. I have if I will consider it for 1 hour, 1 hour, it will give four triggers, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, so I will select here 6 p.m. Okay, so 6 p.m. means 14, 14. Okay, 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day. So I will give here end also. So on 18th only I will end this. So on 22. Okay, 10 p.m. Okay, so within this time duration we have four window of this trigger. Okay, so if we want to make dependency for the first trigger, so we can select the trigger 1, we can give the offset, so and we can select the window size also. Okay, so basically what it is happening I'm showing you. It's a little bit complicated. So if we come to their official documentation of data factory, so offset, so 9 to 11 p.m. In 9 to 11 you can see, so trigger A, trigger B. Okay, there is no offset. Okay, no delay, 0. So what it is happening, so trigger B basically, so trigger B means the second window, it will not get executed till the first one successfully completed its pipeline run. Okay, so this is the main funda. So second one, what it is showing, it has 1 hour offset. So here if I'll give 1 hour, so it will make 1 hour of offset. Okay, so if you want to make one offset that 9 to 10 one pipeline will get triggered, and after that the second trigger it will executed. So that time it will consider that previous trigger, it is already executed or not successfully. If it is successfully executed, that after that only the second trigger will triggered. Okay, otherwise it will not. So this dependency I think you have understood, so I'm once again explaining. It's a little bit confusing, but I think you can understand. So whenever we are we want to give one dependency, first dependency, so trigger 1. So if we will select 0, okay, I'm not giving any offset. So that time what will it will happen? So 9 to till 10, 10 and 10, 10 to 11. Okay, that is the min hour timing window. Okay, so there is trigger A and trigger B. So what it is happening? So 9 to 10 trigger timing and 10 to 11 trigger time, 10 to 11 trigger timing, it is depending on B's 10 to 11 trigger timing trigger. So if it is successfully happened, then only trigger A will gets executed. Okay, so if it is -1, if it is -1, so it will consider the last window, the previous, the last to last window, it will consider the last to last window. You can see 9 to 10 and 10 to 11. So trigger A is 10 to 11, 10 to 11 trigger, it should depend trigger B is 10 to 11 triggers, but here I have considered I have given -1, so it will consider the 9 to 10s of trigger B's. Okay, so If the trigger is 9 to 10 is successful, then only trigger is 10 to 11 window successfully triggered. Okay, so they use using this only you can select any select the dependencies. Okay, you can create multiple dependencies. Okay, so like this. Okay, so anything you can mention. So here you need to give the thing like this. Okay, so if you want to give any delay, you can mention here. So suppose you have recurrence of 1 hour, so you are triggering your pipeline. So for what I have mentioned here, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Yeah, okay, so 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is the window. Okay, so whenever 2 p.m. it will gets executed. So after that, the next if I will give 1 minute 1 minute delay. So suppose I'm giving 1 minute delay. Okay, so that at that time the next window will get triggered 3 1. Okay, on 3 hours 1 minute, mm, 3 hours 1 minute p.m. Okay, 3 1 p.m. it will get the next trigger will get triggered. Okay, so this is the funda. Okay, little bit tricky, but it's mm, not a rocket science. Okay, you just need to go through this documentation if you want to explore more things. Okay, so coming to this terminal trigger frequency minute. Okay, so I'm not giving any whatever it is, I'm putting it, not changing anything. Okay, so let's save it. Saving it. Okay, so next is event based trigger. So event based trigger, as I told you, event based trigger is if you uh, want the feature like this, once the data is coming to your source path, the triggers gets initiated, and it is triggering the pipeline. So that thing you can use event based trigger. So event based trigger is basically mm, event based trigger is basically whenever you are creating one event based trigger, that time in backend one event grid is created. Okay, by Azure to accessing your storage account. So I have not created that. So uh, here you need to mention in event grid topic name, your uh, storage account would be there. Okay, and in subject begins with, you need to mention your file path. Okay, and in subject end you need to give the extension name. Suppose you have CSV file, you need to mention here like this. Suppose you have one file name, but which is abc dot csv. So like this you need to mention. Okay, so so here also you can follow this documentation. So you can see the storage event you can create. After that you need to you need to give your container name and all. Once the storage I have not created this I have not created this event grid, so that's why the the storage account name I'm not getting here. Okay, so I will try to create create this storage event grid separately. It's a separate topic. Okay, I'm just showing you that how to create the event based trigger. Okay, so like this, after all the configuration, like this. Okay, you will get the data preview, and after that you can create the pipeline. Okay, so after creation of the pipeline, you can also parameterize your data storage location. Okay, using this, the trigger body dot file name and pipeline parameter name, and the trigger body of folder path also, using these two properties. Okay, so for parameterizing, so I'm showing you. mm, so here also, you can give the event type. Okay, so here any type of value you can mention here, event type. Okay, as I'm getting the value from storage. Okay, so you can mention here. So now I'm creating the trigger. Okay, so event trigger is not completed. As I told you, you need to mention this thing. um, so I have not mentioned here is this event grid. Okay, so I'm just showing you that how to create the trigger. And after that also, one thing you need to do here, you need to create the parameters, so that whenever you are triggering the event trigger or event trigger, so it will take the parameters. Okay, so the folder path and the file, so like this. As yeah, if you go through the documentation, you can get the folder path and the file name. So the parameter how to create, so you just need to mention the file name, and one parameter would be folder path. So these two parameter, every time it will take whenever the things this. So file name and folder path. So if you will trigger it, so now I am not able to trigger because this system is not completed. Okay, so whenever you will trigger it, the value you can mention there, the trigger body dot folder path, it will automatically take your storage path. Okay, for which storage path you have configured this pipeline. Okay, mm, sorry, for the folder path, and to mention the folder path here, and the file name, whatever file name mention here. Okay, so like this you can create the event based trigger. So it's a little bit tricky concept, but it's understandable. So I think you have understood the concept. If you have any kinds of doubt, you can directly reach out to me via LinkedIn Talkmate. You don't need to pay anything. Okay, so you can join also Telegram channel for participating daily basis quiz on SQL, PySpark, um, on data engineering topics. Okay, so if you like our video, if you think it's a useful for you guys, you can directly press the subscribe button. Okay, and hit the bell icon for getting new videos update and all. Okay, so thank you for watching our video. uh, Please do like, share and subscribe and support us. Okay, without your support we can't grow. Okay, so thank you. Bye.